Hello, I'm Sal and I'm with Mark today, and we are back for another podcast. And today we are going to be talking about the very interesting issue of if you're exercising or not, or staying active or not, around the home and the isolation issue. So we're going to cover some good points today, why this is happening, some of the key factors which contribute to either doing exercise and movement or not, and some of the things you can do. So it's going to be a really valuable session if you are not getting to doing your exercise program as you'd like to. So let's jump in. First, I'm going to say, hey, Mark, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Yes, I'm good. And of course, we have spoken about this between each other, and we've seen it for ourselves. One of the big things I would say, first and foremost, is environment. So, for instance, if you go to the gym, you will physically go to a gym. You'll go to a gym and you'll open the door and there'll be weights and running machines and you'll do your workout or whatever your thing is. Same with the yoga studio, same with the martial arts dojo, perhaps same with the run if you run a certain place. So this environmental element is really key because environment is a big part of habit structure. Our environment helps shape us. So we've got to address that. Now, Mark, you've had some great thoughts on this one. So perhaps what are your thoughts on how to reshape the environment in your home experience that will really work?
Yeah, I think you're right. It's difficult for a lot of people if you're very used to going out to your yoga studio or running club or martial arts training hall or whatever you do. If you're lacking that, almost like that ritual to get out to the place where you do your training, it's very, very difficult because that ritual sets your mindset. Often sets your intention, and it's that place where you can almost escape from your daily routine to go out and practice what is often the antidote to your daily routine. So I think being stuck in a house is difficult. If you've got space that you can convert or semi-convert, I'm very lucky to have a garage that I convert into a studio, so that's where I go and I do my training. Sometimes you might be in a flat, it won't have enough space, or you have to share the space. A lot of people say it's difficult. So I think having those triggers, so instead of getting your car and going to a studio to train, maybe just change something about your environment. So if you can't set one dedicated space for training, have a ritual of moving the furniture around, drawing a curtain, pulling a blind down, moving things out the way in the kitchen. Putting on a uniform is really, really important. I'm really impressed with the people that I teach in my classes, and they're 9 times out of 10 they're in uniforms. That tells me they're getting into the mindset of wanting to train. So having these little things and these little triggers is really good. Doing the same thing each time then will set you into that mindset. Quite often in martial arts, people wonder why you have the ritual of bowing when you enter and leave the hall and wearing a uniform. A lot of it isn't just to be pedantic, to say, right, you need to wear a uniform because I said so. It's to get people in the mindset, same as bowing when you enter the hall. It's to get you into the mindset, right, I'm leaving this, which is my job, my family life, whatever, and now I'm entering my training mode. That's really important. I think one thing that's really important as well is trying to make the members of your family or household respect that space. So if you have pulled down the blind, if you have shut the door or whatever you're going through, then try to have that as a time explained to them. That's the time you need to set aside for you and your training, just so you're not blending in your daily family work hectic lifestyle with the training. So you're trying to get that separation, which doesn't happen when we can't get into the car and drive to the gym or the park or the studio.
Yeah, spot on, absolutely spot on. I'm seeing it and I'm having it in my own experience. I'm having it with my online yoga studio, and certainly from a psychological point of view, I've seen this with taking people through habit change. It's more important now to have that structural environmental difference, because if, as you said, Mark, if you drive to a studio or walk to a place, that's that physical action. It's quite big. It's quite a big action. Whereas if you're in your own home and it's simply you're staying in the same one-bed studio, or if you have a house with a bit more room, it's still not a lot of difference. So it becomes about subtlety, and subtlety. Yeah, I really like that. Closing the blind, moving the chairs away, maybe rolling out a mat, or if you have a garden space, it's like you have an area where you take your weights out. Whatever the thing is, but yeah, it's more important now than ever. So before, it might have been quite hard to muster up a bit of stimulus to do your training. Now it's absolutely vital because, of course, we're not moving very much at all, and it's even more important for our bodies, nervous system, and our mind. And just on a point, I've created an area in my space, which is where my online yoga studio is taught from. And I have the same thing. I clear the space, I roll out the yoga mat, I have my blocks, I have a glass of water, and I obviously have my Mac and my machine ready to go to teach a live class. So it's for me, I take the same mental attitude as if it's a real class. I see people, I talk to them online before we do it. We have a chat afterwards, because live really works for me. And when I finish, I close everything and put everything away, roll the mat up, and I reset the space. So my personal space and what is now my working studio has that boundary, and it works really well. Yeah. So taking that another step forward, so that's our environmental triggers. The next thing I would say from a habit point of view, both psychologically and from a training point, is structure. You put it beautifully, Mark, when you said about structure of putting on the right outfits, perhaps bowing, you should come to the dojo. If it's a gym, you might wear gym clothes, all the different things you might do. But having structure is really key. It's part and parcel of the structure to maybe put on a type of clothing, a sport wear or training wear. I would also add it's about timing, so physical timing in the day. So I'm seeing people showing up to my yoga class, and I'm checking them and I say, how's that going for you? And they're saying, I probably wouldn't have done anything today had you not run the live class this morning or at lunchtime. And it's because there is a place in the day to do it. So I would say timing is our next thing. And I'm curious, Mark, because of course you have your online dojo. How is timing working either for your own training or for your students? What are you seeing?
Yeah, well, in terms of the online training that I'm providing, I have a morning session and an evening session. It's the same time every day, 7 days a week. So people know where they are, and I'll alternate a kind of a soft style Tai Chi Qigong type lesson with a harder Kung Fu kickboxing fitness type lesson, and they'll switch each day. So it'll either be morning or evening. And yeah, people are appreciating the structure, I think, and I certainly had comments saying, like you said, wouldn't have done anything today if they hadn't had that in place. And people know when it is, so it's regular, and they can kind of structure their days and their weeks, their months accordingly. For my own training, I mean, for the best part of 20 years, I've either trained every evening or taught every evening. So I have a spare evening, and I don't know what to do with it. For me, my evenings start at like 9 o'clock and they last for about an hour. That's an evening. So I'm kind of sticking to that, to be honest, partly because I don't know any other way to live my life. And so I'm in my garage, gym, studio, whatever you want to call it, do a bit of teaching, and then I'll do a bit of training, either there or outside. And I think it's important to have a mindset of keeping ourselves in shape mentally and physically for when we come out the other end of this, whatever that looks like, whether it's getting back to regular classes or training in parks or things as an intermediate step so we can keep distancing. But I think it's important not to interrupt your routine too much and have 3 months of eating pizza and drinking beers on the sofa, and then you've got another 3-6 months when we come out of this to get back into the good habits you have. So as much as you can in terms of how it integrates with your family and home life at the moment, but try and keep those routines.
Yeah, completely great. Yeah, it's I was struck actually the other day. Someone was commenting on how difficult they're finding the crisis at the moment, and they've had a really low point, and it's kind of natural. That's another topic for a different podcast. But what came up from that is it was really simple. It's like, this is not a holiday. This isn't Christmas. Yeah, this isn't taking a couple of weeks off in the summer to chill. This is a crisis. And we're all in it. And some are faring better and some are faring not so good, but that's the deal. And you're spot on, Mark. Waiting till it all get back to normal is probably an unwise decision, because right now is normal. And if normal's working from home for the next 3 weeks, possibly 3 months, no one knows, and it'd be unwise to say otherwise. And even then, there may be restrictions, all sorts of unknowns. So setting up a precedent for looking out for yourself right now is a massive investment. Mark and I, we know this stuff, we work with this stuff, but if you're not moving much, even moving a little bit is going to be good for you, for your body, for your heart, for your lungs, the obvious stuff. But also your mental health, how you're feeling yourself, your mood, because there's plenty of time to sit down. we're at home, right? Sit down. So definitely, if you put in 30 minutes a day, that's how I'm running my classes. 30 minutes, they're really accessible because of the online. I know you are too, Mark. Then do it. And Mark and I have been speaking about a final point we want to finish with, which is the try it out. Be fearless, give it a shot, because there are so many. There's Mark and I. You can come to us. There are other teachers. There are Zumba classes. There's workout classes. I think some strength training. There's various things. Google your either favorite areas or people. You'll find something to do, and try it out. Because as we've Mark and I were figured out yesterday, if you don't like it, you can just close the screen. You don't have to even leave the place. So you can give something a shot, super low risk. And try it out. And what I'm finding is really good if you're not comfortable with exercising in front of people. I've had this come up in my space. When you're at home, you're in a private space, no one is watching you. And it's a really nice pathway back in if you haven't been doing training for a while, if you've got any health issues. So there are really good and helpful points about where we find ourselves and what we can do with it. Without dishonoring that we're all in a difficult situation, but there are really good possibilities to take from it. So if we could encourage you anything, I know, Mark, you've got loads of classes. I would say go do some stuff at Mark's, Tai Chi, kickboxing, all the stuff. If you want to do some yoga with me, you can do the easy stuff. We can do the strong stuff. I have varied classes, but we would always happily have you on our classes. And we'd also highly recommend trying other people's classes, trying other things, because movement is king. It's really king. It's king for the body. It's king for the mind. So if you're doing something, it's going to be a good all-rounder. Mark, have you got any final thoughts?
Yeah, or you can get halfway through one of my kickboxing classes and then just sit down with a cup of tea and watch the video.
Brilliant.
I sometimes wonder if people are doing that when I'm halfway through.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, our classes and other classes you can sign up to. For myself, I know a few as well. So obviously, this is a time of quite a lot of financial difficulty for people. And I always say, regardless of our current situation, I'd never not let someone train because of financial reasons. So for myself, and I know if anyone is having any financial troubles, then do get in touch with us and we can, there's space for everybody. So
absolutely. Yep. I echo that.
Let that be a reason.
Don't let that be a barrier to entry. Yes, right now we're all aiming to do what we can to help each other. And Mark and I, obviously, this is what we do. We're very good at our own fields. And yet at the same time, we have shared interest, shared passion, shared values. So if you're struggling, you're not moving, reach out, come spend some time online with Mark or with me and give it a shot and see how you feel. So links will be below, probably in the comments and stuff. We'll drop in some links to my classes, to Mark's classes, and hope to see you on the next podcast soon. But comment, get in touch, and thank you so much. Until the next time, take care.
Thanks, guys. Bye.